Welcome to this course in self-regulation. In this first lesson, we will explore what is meant by self-regulation. We will start with a short video as a way to examine what is meant by the term self-regulation.
Our current school system was set up in the late 18th and early 1900s to meet the needs of the industrial economy. A one-size-fits-all model, it was designed to prepare students for industrial work. Content or knowledge was contained in textbooks and students were expected to learn it and then reproduce it when tested. In most traditional classrooms, students receive instructions on particular subjects and skill sets which are taught during fixed time periods in the day. Teachers generally structure students' work for them, direct them exactly what to do, and then monitor how this has been done. In today's world, this model is no longer appropriate. Flexibility and adaptability are now essential skills for learning, work and citizenship in the 21st century. We are in a time of great change. The rapid pace of technological change has forced us all to adapt quickly to new ways of communicating, learning, working and living. We change jobs and careers more frequently, and entirely new kinds of work are arising from innovations in many fields. Today's students must prepare for the reality of the 21st century life and work in which they can take responsibility for their lives, their work and their ongoing learning. It requires individuals to monitor their own work and to incorporate feedback to develop and improve. Offering each student the appropriate level of freedom to exercise self-direction and initiative is an ongoing universal challenge for both parents and teachers. To create opportunities for students to learn effectively, develop deeper level of initiative and self-direction skills, educators must work with students, guiding and empowering them in ways that help them take increasing responsibility for their own learning, both as individuals and in groups. In turn, this supports students' abilities to live and work in 21st century society, where people are expected to work with minimal supervision, design their own work products and incorporate feedback to improve the quality of those products. In tandem with their work, they need to be able to plan and monitor their own lives and engage fully with the communities they live in, so that all elements of their increasingly complex lives are balanced. We as educators can play a key role in ensuring that our students develop self-regulation skills by designing appropriate learning tasks. Students should have the opportunity to engage in learning tasks that are meaningful to them and that take place over an extended period of time. Clear learning goals and success criteria need to be developed so that students can plan and monitor their own work. Self-regulation skills can then be fostered as students work in groups and take responsibility for deciding how, when and where the work will be completed. It is equally important that students receive feedback that is supportive of their progress and that they have the opportunity to act on that feedback to improve their work before it is finalised. While feedback can be provided by teachers and/or peers, the key is to provide effective feedback that goes beyond simple praise or comments such as "good job" or "great work", as this does little to help the student understand what needs to be done to achieve their learning goal. By designing such learning activities, we are supporting learners to take control over their actions and to develop a strong responsibility for and commitment to their learning. In this way, we are helping them to become lifelong learners so they can continue to learn and grow throughout their lives.
Having viewed the video, take a few minutes and jot down a few points of what comes to mind when you think about self-regulation. Is what you saw or heard in the video consistent with your own ideas about self-regulation? Now carry out a search online for self-regulation. What did you find? Did you learn anything new? Is there something that you hadn't thought of before? In terms of self-regulation, the big challenge for us as educators can be stated as follows. How can we provide opportunities for our students to be self-regulated thinkers and learners? These are the issues we will tease out of this course. This is so we can develop a shared understanding and a common language that we can use when describing what self-regulation is and what skills are required in order for students to take more responsibility for their own learning. Today's complex world demands self-regulated thinkers and learners who can take responsibility for their lives, their work, and their ongoing learning. It requires individuals to monitor their own work and to incorporate feedback to develop and improve their work products. In most traditional classrooms, educators structure students' work for them. Educators direct students in exactly what to do, and they monitor students' compliance. To create opportunities for students to learn effectively and monitor their own progress, educators must work with their students, guiding and empowering them in ways that help them take increasing responsibility for their own learning, both as individuals and in groups. In turn, this supports students' ability to function in a 21st century workplace, where people are expected to work with minimal supervision, planning their own work, designing their own work products, and incorporating feedback to improve the quality of those products. So what skills do you think are required to be a self-regulated learner? Take a moment and think about what it means to be able to self-regulate. Now think about your classroom. Do your students get an opportunity to develop and use self-regulation skills? Can you think of some learning activities that would help students develop the skills necessary to self-regulate? As you begin to think about this, we would encourage you to join the discussion area, where you can share your views about what skills people need to self-regulate, and also share your ideas about learning activities that would help students develop the skills necessary to self-regulate. We need to examine in greater depth what self-regulation looks like and what skills are required so that you can plan for the development of these skills. In doing this, we will develop a shared understanding and common language to describe self-regulation. If we know what we mean by self-regulation and what skills are required, we can then plan for the development of these skills. By understanding self-regulation and what we mean by it, we can then design learning activities that target the development of the skills necessary to be able to self-regulate. In the next lesson, we will examine the big ideas in self-regulation, as it is by understanding these big ideas that we can design learning activities that target the development of self-regulation skills in students.